Let's go over the contingencies that you get when you're buying a home. The three contingencies that everyone is thinking about are loan, appraisal, and investigation. These are really important contingencies because everything around the escrow process is built around these contingencies. You are putting in your initial deposit to as a sign of good faith with the seller. And so what you're doing along the escrow process is doing the investigations for these three contingencies and then slowly removing those contingencies to say, hey, I'm ready to move forward and buy this house. And you're locking that deposit in escrow. So today I'm going to walk you through each of those contingencies and give you some info about how to think about them. So what I have in front of me right now is actually a contingency removal form. We don't recommend removing contingencies until you're actually ready. I haven't had a buyer who just wants to remove them for no reason. If you're removing them, it's for something that's really intentional because you are ready to move forward. So loan contingency, you are in the escrow process trying to make sure that your home that you're buying and you as a buyer are fundable. You're able to get a loan on this property. So what's happening? They're doing the appraisal. The appraiser is going in and making sure there's nothing crazy wrong with the house. The bank is, checking a bunch of different items on the property or to do with the property as well. They're also verifying your income, your employment. They're looking at your finances. A lot of times, if you're pre-approved, you're probably good to go as far as your loan contingency. But there could be something wrong with the HOA, which you have an HOA contingency. That's like the fourth one to think about. But as far as the loan contingency goes, if you're fully underwritten, that's the time that buyers might remove it up front. If you're cash, then there's no loan contingency. As far as appraisal goes, appraisals are done from are done through your bank, right? Your bank or your lender is going to have an appraiser go out, value the property. If the property doesn't appraise, then we get to negotiate again and say, hey, seller, heads up, your home didn't appraise. We have our appraisal contingency. We need to meet in the middle somewhere, or you need to lower your price. Or if it does appraise, great, you're good to go. The appraisal checked out, you can remove that contingency. Or it comes in higher, in which case we don't say anything and we call it a good day. Now, investigation contingency is the really important one for buyers to be aware of because with an investigation contingency, you could walk into a house and pull out for any reason. You could not like the way that the sun hits the house. It could not be enough natural light. You could decide that you don't like the paint in the nighttime. With an investigation contingency, if you don't like it, you don't like it, and you can pull out and use that to go get that EMD back as long as you have the contingency. Realistically, during the investigation is when you're having your inspections, your termite, your sewer scope, if it's a single family. You're actually driving around the property to make sure you like it. You're maybe even meeting neighbors. And that is what you're doing in the investigation. You do not want to remove all of your contingencies until you're absolutely ready to move forward, meaning your lender says you're good to go. There's nothing that you need to give your realtor. You have no more questions with the seller. You're very happy with the terms as is, and you want to close as soon as you guys have agreed upon. That's the right time to remove contingencies when there's no risk of the home falling out of escrow, because what you don't want is for you guys to, have a situation where you're like, you know what, actually, I do want to pull out of this deal like a day or two before escrow, because at that point, your earnest money deposit is at risk. The seller can go after up to 3% of that deposit, 3% of the purchase price, which would be that deposit. So we don't want to risk it. We want you guys to keep your money and get a home that you love. If you guys need to back out because of something that's wrong with the home, those contingencies are what's going to help you get that initial deposit back. And keep in mind, our job as agents is to help you get the home you want or sell the home that you want to sell in the safest way possible. So we're always looking out. Contingencies are removed by signing this document. And when it's time to remove all, it's like all caps, bolded, so you'll know exactly what you're signing. If you have any questions, you can always let us know.